Good morning. So overnight we've had quite a lot of news come out about reopening Florida and Orlando and the theme parks, restaurants, hotels, bars, everything there. There's been a lot of talk about phase openings. So quite a lot of what I've discussed in the last few videos has actually just kind of come to fruition in June what they've said. So the governor is expected to make another announcement today or tomorrow, just depending on timescales, about when Florida's going to reopen. Now, the stay-at-home order on Florida ends tomorrow, which is Thursday. So they're basically saying, do not think that it's going to be open from tomorrow. It is not. They have put in a realistic date to start getting things moving, as in the 11th of May. And to look at getting more realistic figures via June. What they have basically turned around and said is the task force have been in discussion and have laid out guidelines to how to reopen businesses, how to reopen theme parks, bars, hotels, to get the economy moving again in Florida. Now, Florida's rates of case and deaths has definitely dropped, and they are looking into this to how to move everything forward. So what we're going to look at today is I've got quite a few slides I'm going to put up on the screen in a moment that we're going to go through one by one of each of them about how they want to reopen everything. The mayor is more saying that it could be more June before we see anything happen, which is kind of in the scales of what we were seeing. The only thing that has not been discussed is about international visitors yet. This is very domestic, which is what we thought would happen and what we thought would be said. And let's get into it. Before, the only thing that I haven't got on this is the one thing the task force were discussing as part of all this is for like restaurants, bars or anywhere like that would be to use disposable and paper menus to stop the spread. So this is definitely something that is going to be looked at, and I think a lot of different organisations will need to take this into effect. Right, so the first slide you are now going to see is how to reopen theme parks. So as you can see via this, it's split into two sections, small theme parks and large theme parks. So the reason we've got both of these here is you've got the small ones that's in is like Top Golf Fun Spot as an example. Now to use this towards Disney, you're going to be looking at, you've got the fantasy mini golf places and you've got the NBA experience, all these sort of things. Now it does split into two parts, but they are identical. So we're just going to go through this as if they were just one. So what they're asking for is taped marks over 6 feet apart on ride attractions and queues, which is what we had discussed. Now, this does not state anywhere about walkways around the actual parks themselves. This is just in queues. Staff to regularly wipe down surfaces at random, yeah, and to split it into two phases, with phase 1 and phase 2, staff who are over 65 is not to come into work, which I do think is very understandable. So for both of them, it does say all employees to require to wear face masks, touchless hand sanitizers at each entry and exit turnstiles, touchless hand sanitizers at each ride entry and exit, temperature checks to all staff, all employees with flu-like systems stay at home, wipe down rails and surfaces regularly, and to do the two phase capacities, one at 50%, two at 75%. So this is what we were talking about the other day in how to open these parks up, they need to phase open them and not to do it all in one go. So that's your theme parks, and it's kind of, you can see there, it's all these information that we have been getting coming through, that the cast members who we've been talking to have been releasing information, so which is really good. It's really good to know that what they are hearing is actually coming to fruition. The next one we're going to look at is spas. I've only put this in here just because there is hotels with spas in Disney World, and I just thought it would be very good just to kind of link in everything that's going to go on, because don't forget Disney World, Disney in Florida is a resort, and it's got many attractions and things to do. It also includes Universal as well. They are in the same boat. So as you can see here, again, it's disposable covers on beds, touchless sanitizers at entry, staff checked. Yeah, we don't need to go too much into that. Next one is restaurants. So this has been put in as, again, what I was saying about these paper disposable menus. to encourage takeout orders and to use touchless sanitizers. Phase 1 and 2 is basically saying do not have 65-year or older members of staff working. So as you can see, what they're asking for restaurants is hand sanitizer at every table, visible in plain sight, employees to wear face masks, checks on staff temperatures, doors to be wiped regularly, all staff behind counters must wear gloves, bartenders need to clean their hands after making every drink, and seating at tables to be 6 feet apart. Now, it's very doable when you're only going to be putting these restaurants at 50% capacity. So, which is good. Next, about shopping malls and what to kind of expect on that. The only reason I've thrown this in there is because of Disney Springs, and kind of what I was kind of thinking when they're saying about hand sanitizer entry and exits, you're looking at the parking garages, employees to wear face masks and to be cleaned, and yeah, it's very, very similar to everything else. Next one, hotels. So this is in 2 phases. So there's some interesting information in here. So they want housekeeping to be limited. What they're basically turning around and saying is, where possible, do not house clean them rooms when guests are there to stop the spread, unless the guests ask for it, which you just do it after they've moved out. They want to try and do mobile check-ins. Now, quite a few Disney hotels you can do this at, so it's definitely something to allow. You're also saying about keeping employees working from home, which is fine. Delivery service, so your room service to be just done to guest doors and not tucked into the room, and to provide self-service. So valet parking will not be happening for a while. The mandates for this is hand sanitizers in the rooms, consistently checking guest areas, front desk to be guarded at all time, remove service items from the guest rooms, so glassware, coffee cups, coffee machines, mini bars not to be stocked up. They do not want self food services, so like buffet services, it looks like they don't want to be opened. And then yeah, there's quite a lot there to kind of open these, and I think that's very good, and it's some things that haven't been mentioned previously. Next thing we'll look at is gyms. Gyms, I think, should be one of the last things to open up due to what they entail. But with these being at theme park, well, in the hotels at the theme parks, these are some things that are going to have to be used. Now, I don't think in the case of Disney's that people go to Disney to use the gyms. I would maybe turn around and say they may keep them closed for a while. So then daycare, and which we do have in Disney, because you do have the rooms, definitely, like as an example being at Animal Kingdom Lodge, you've got the Puma childcare at the bottom, and I think this is going to be very important for the adults who want to leave their children while they get a bit of a respite. So there's going to be they want limited per classroom, so there'll be a limited amount of daycares, and again it's social distancing between these children. Next we're going to look at is bars and nightclubs. So what they are turning around and saying in phase 1, do not open bars. Now there's not many bars on Disney property that, like at Disney Springs, there's maybe Jock Lindsay's, Hangar Bar, there's a couple in hotels, but they are not to open at phase 1. They are basically turning around and say do not open bars. There is no need to open bars. Phase 2, they can then reopen at 50% capacity. Again, it's all the same things as what we've seen before about keep face masks, hand sanitizers. They only want minimum of 1 bar stool per party to stop the spread, bathrooms to be cleaned, and staff to use hand sanitizers, and yeah, basically it's all, everything's there to be seen from things we have already been discussing. Moving on to some other little key bits and pieces I just want to talk about today is we've going to have a bit of an issue for Disneyland Paris. Looks like Florida's opening. We've still not heard anything on Disneyland in California just yet, but Disneyland Paris, there is the possibility of not opening till September. The reason this is the government have come out with a ban on large parties or large events more than 5,000 people until the 1st of September. Now, it hasn't been announced regarding Disneyland Paris yet if they are affected in this or not. So we're going to have to wait for more on this, but at this very moment in time, it's 1st of September for Disneyland Paris due to what the French government is saying. And finally, I'm just going to throw this picture up on there of someone off Instagram who has posted the other night that Shanghai Disneyland were testing fireworks. Now, they have also been testing parades, and like we've said in previous videos, they've also been doing test runs with minimal cast members acting as test subjects, which is very interesting. So it looks like they're going to be opening up very soon. The Shanghai Disneyland Hotel is already open, and they've already started character dining in Luminere's restaurant. So this is very positive news over in China to look like these theme parks could be getting to open soon. But yeah, thank you very much guys for watching. As soon as I get any more information, I'll put these out there. I've got a few more videos lined up that is not Disney update related, which are going to be dropping in the next few days. But these are coming thick and fast. Every time I think we've got everything, more and more information is coming out. So I'll see you in the next video. See you later.